William Burroughs, when you were in London, you'd already broken onto the scene, of course, with Naked Lunch. Nova Express was out in '64, wasn't it? But what were you writing then?
Well, let's see. I wrote The Job when I was in Duke Street. I also wrote Wild Boys, partly there and partly in Marrakesh.
That's absolutely your table, isn't it?
Yes, it
The
is.
one thing that was part of the
That's right, yeah.
part of the work.
And I also wrote Exterminator and Port of Saints and The Last Words of Dutch Schultz.
Oh, yes.
So I was quite busy.
Pretty prolific.
I think he was here in London, as a matter of fact, when I came across the, to me, happy accident of the cut-ups.
Well, there are, of course, many ways in which cut-ups can be done. One very simple way that I've used frequently is just take a page, cut it down the middle and across the page, so you now have 4 sections, and you rearrange the sections in a different order. And when this happens, of course, you get new word combos. You also get new words created by the cut-up.
I was talking about that this weekend, thinking a lot about it. I think the 2 basic types of music indigenous to this country are the black music, blues, and the kind of folk music that was brought over from Europe, and I guess they call it country music, or the kind of West Virginia high and lonesome sound. Those are the 2 main streams of root American music. There might be others, I don't know. But it looks like, and like 10 years ago, what they called rock and roll was kind of a blending of those 2 forms. And I guess what's happening now is that rock is kind of dying out, and everyone's going back to the roots again. Some are going back into country, and some are going back into basic blues. I guess in 4 or 5 years, the new generation's music will be, it'll have a synthesis of those two elements, and some third thing, it'll be entire, maybe it'll be, it might rely heavily on electronics and tapes. I can kind of envision maybe one person with a lot of machines, tapes, and electronic setups, singing or speaking and using machines.
I used to think that rock was progressive.
You're putting yourself down there. I mean, didn't you know, have an idea, a big idea, of something you wanted to get over before you started the film?
No.
What about the first section with the sort of pseudo-priest who came in at the end and so that was very funny, very entertaining.
Oh, well, the whole movie's a comedy.
Did you work from the script?
No.
When you decided to turn from pure artwork to film, what made you make this decision?
We met Taylor Mead, who was in The Flower Thief, and we were going to California.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a camera, and that's how it started.
Mm-hmm. What part do you take yourself in the making of the films?
I don't know. Well, just do it. We all do it.
Would you call yourself a director?
No, because it's the people who I pick usually direct the movie themselves.
Mm-hmm. What do you do? Watch?
Yes. I get my thrills that way.
Are they very expensive to make, these films?
So far not, but we just found out that we use tape, magnetic stripe tape, and we found out that we can have sound now with movies that you can hear, and it's like magic.
What would the reaction be to a critic or a person who went to one of your films and just said, rubbish, trite nonsense, boring, etc.?
Well, that's the way we feel about it.
You really do? You're not putting me on? Are you interested in making a sort of more conventional type of movies?
Oh, yes. That's all we're going to do right now, is make conventional movies.
Are you going to continue with your artwork at the same time in the factory?
We're just going to do conventional movies.
With plots and...
Yes, lots of plots.
What kind of plots?
Beach parties.
Bow tie movies.
What kind?
Bow tie movies.
What's a bow tie?
What's bow tie movie? What's
Bow ties. Where you wear a bow tie.
Yeah.
In the movie.
This is a conventional movie.
That's what all the kids are doing nowadays.
Do you think the majority of underground films are bad, Andy?
Oh no, I like every one of them.
Why do you think they're all good?
Well, because well, I think I think any camera that takes a picture comes out all right.
You mean a picture itself is good?
Yes.
Any picture?
Yes.
When you were in London in the last weeks, did you see any of the English underground films? Are they doing anything over there?
Yeah, we saw one made in Shea Stadium.
Oh, the Beatles. Yes.
Paul McCartney makes underground movies. 8mm.
Are they any good?
Yeah, beautiful.
What sort of thing does he do?
Oh, snap, snap, snap. You know.
Straight things, slow motion.
Yeah. Fools around.
Did you are they
Psychedelic.
Well, does he call them psychedelic?
No, he calls them home movies.
It occurred because I had a number of sheets of newspapers, some British newspapers, the American newspaper published in Paris, and some other things that happened to be lying on my desk when I took a Stanley blade and cut through them, and these little bits and pieces looked so amusing to me that I started jiggling them around as one would in a collage.
This was simply, of course, applying the montage method, which is really rather old hat in painting at that time, to writing. As Brian said, writing is 50 years behind painting.
Listen to my last words anywhere. Listen, all you boards, governments, syndicates, nations of the world, and you powers behind what filth deals consummated in what lavatory, to take what is not yours, to sell out your sons forever, to sell the ground from unborn feet forever. I bear no sick words, junk words, love words, forgive words from Jesus. I have not come to explain or tidy up. What am I doing over here with the workers, the gooks, the apes, the dogs, the errand boys, the human animals? Why don't I come over with a board and drink Coca-Cola or make it? Explain how the blood and bones and brains of 100 million more or less gooks went down the drain in green piss, so you on the board could use bodies and minds and souls that were not yours, are not yours, and never will be yours. You have the wrong name and the wrong number, Mr. Luce Getty Lee Rockefeller. Don't let them see us. Don't tell them what we are doing. Not the cancer deal with the Venetians, not the Green Deal. Don't let that out. Disaster, unimaginable disaster. Crabmen, tapeworms, intestinal parasites. Like Burroughs, that proud American name. Proud of what exactly? Would you all like to see exactly what Burroughs has to be proud of? The Mayan caper, the centipede hype, the short time racket, the heavy metal gimmick. All right, Mr. Burroughs, who bears my name and my words, bear it all the way for all to see. In Times Square in Piccadilly. Play it all, play it all, play it all back. Pay it all, pay it all, pay it all back. No, no, no. Premature, premature, premature. Are these the words of the all-powerful boards and syndicates of the earth? I say to all, these words are not premature. These words may be too late.
The aggressive determination of hippies to start a new society has made its mark upon San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury. Part of the neighborhood is occupied by ordinary people, bewildered by what's going on. Part of it is occupied by a growing population of hippies. There are a lot of for sale signs in Haight-Ashbury. There are a lot more houses being occupied by hippies. The hippies are capable of extremely hard work, even though they tend to approach work as the rest of us do sport. Some of them are very successful. This is the house of a popular local band which plays hard rock music. They call themselves the Grateful Dead. They live together comfortably in what could be called affluence. There are many other similar houses or apartments in Haight-Ashbury maintained by hippies who work in places where employers do not mind bizarre dress or long hair. Their concept of a new style of life unites them, and that concept is, in most cases, drawn from the drug experience. The Grateful Dead themselves acknowledge they have used LSD. Warren Wallace asked them what they thought the hippie movement was trying to accomplish.
What we're thinking about is a peaceful planet. We're not thinking about anything else. We're not thinking about any kind of power. We're not thinking about any of those kind of struggles. We're not thinking about revolution or war or any of that. That's not what we want. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to hurt anybody. We would all like to be able to live an uncluttered life, a simple life, a good life, you know, and like think about moving the whole human race ahead a step or a few steps. And,
or half a step.
Yeah, or a half a step, or anything.
Or at least not
more positive.
At least not going around in circles like it is now.
Do you think that your movement or your idea, the hip idea, is essentially connected up with drugs?
Yeah, I would say that's a large part of the framework.
I think that most of the people who are hippies now came to it through drugs.
Yeah, but it's not a dope movement. We're not trying to spread
pushing dope. You know, I think, personally, that the more people turn on, the better world it's going to be.
We were talking before about a way of being, and one of the ways of achieving that being is through drugs.
Expanding your
consciousness,
changing yourself.
But like most of us have given up to psychedelic drugs anyway. Yeah, right. Well, we've learned something from them, and now we're kind of playing around with that knowledge. And
what have you learned?
Well, you can point out the example that the people that live in the community and you know, play around with dope and stuff like that, they don't have wars, you know, and they don't have a lot of problems that the larger society has.
In essence, the scene has grown up with us, and we have grown up with the scene. We've all grown up together, and we feel more like children than ever.
Right. Because we know what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow up.
Consist of recreations of old ceremonies that have been practiced for centuries. We recreate the ceremonies of the Knights Templars, a noble group of gentlemen who, because of social pressures, made it very obvious that they were the standard bearers of Christianity. We feel that in the light of what society has shown us in the last year or two, we have pretty much exemplified what the Knights Templars were doing, except we, of course, climate-wise, don't have to worry about calling ourselves Christians. We call ourselves Satanists. We recreate many of these ceremonies. We also recreate many of the ceremonies of the West Indian Buddhist religion. And we've also utilized Norse ritual, passing of the runes, calling upon of Wotan and Thor, Loki.
Some of our things to me is when a person asks, well, what do you have to collect money for? What do you want to charge for this religion for? Why don't you just go have a free working it doesn't cost to go with this religion? They accuse me of just being a money-making racketeer, a con man of some sort. Now, the other religion on the face of the earth hasn't seemed to like jump to taking loans in our commissioners and built large cathedrals in the midst of the living and squalor. They've constantly garnished people's wages in a sense by having so many percentage subscribed to churches. And yet none of them have criticized this that is in the position usually to criticize me for conducting a confidence game of any kind. I was doing a money stunt in recording of this Satanic Church, and I was recording to it if possible to be used for, or would be used for, much more worthwhile purposes than the building of edifices and cathedrals where the people who live in squalor and the people around them can simply go into the church people trust and go, I am not worthy. And when you give the devil his due, he smiles upon you. Well, at least
we feel that all religions are coming around to Satanism. We're in the very throes of a new satanic age. The evidence is all around us. All we have to do is look at it. There is a new title for Christians called Christian atheists. And, of course, many movements such as the Unitarian Church have existed for a while in what would amount to a form of atheism in evening clothes. And we feel that there is no reason why these people shouldn't just flip the coin completely over and simply call themselves what religion has called them for many, many years, all of the devil worshippers. or disciples of evil or Satanists. Of course, it's very hard for a person to hang an uncomplimentary label on themselves, and for this reason, for many years, there will be people practicing Satanism as good Christians or other religions, and they will instinctively pursue the very same things that we are, as they always have. Satan is simply a word that means the adversary, or the opposition, or the accuser. It doesn't necessarily mean evil, or brutality, or cruelty.
Oh, boy. Grace, would you, as the only lady member here, introduce me to the gentlemen, if you will, starting, what'll it be, clockwise, I guess.
All right. Jack Cassidy, bass.
Hello, Jack.
Marty Ballin on piano.
Hey, Marty.
And Paul Kantner on rhythm guitar.
Thought you forgot his name for a minute.
I did.
Man behind you?
Is Spencer Dryden.
Spencer, right? And over here?
Kalkinen.
How are you? You're the closest now. How do you do? How do you do? You know, I told you this would be impossible. You know how much time we have to do an interview with 6 people? Right. No? 1.5 minutes. Why did music such as you just performed happen in San Francisco?
Because I think the part of it is the promoters gave us the freedom to write our own material.
All right, let me skip along. I'll try and get as many questions in as I can. Older people worry. They see the way you're dressed. They hear your music. They don't understand it. Do parents have anything to worry about?
I think so. Their children are doing things that they didn't do and they don't understand.
Yeah? All right. That's a square answer. If you gave $100,000 in cash to a hippie, and you said you got to put a suit and tie, cut the hair, shave the beard, and go to work 5 days a week, would he take it?
Oh, why don't you ask me?
Would it happen?
Well, I can't answer for another hippie, but I guess idealistically it shouldn't happen.
All right, fair enough. How much time do we have? 1 minute? What can you do with a minute? Dance, sing. What's going to happen this summer in San Francisco?
Well, I couldn't even begin to tell you in an hour or so, but there are going to be a lot of people there. And
how many would you guess are going to congregate?
Somebody said 100,000, but I don't know whether this is correct or not.
The establishment's going to get a little stirred up over that. Gentlemen, you won't feel neglected if we don't hit over there. Thank you ever so much.
Every particle of this universe contains the whole of the universe. You and yourself have the whole of the universe. I cut you up in a certain way. I cut up the universe.
But all of Burroughs seems to me to be coherent once you know his method. You know, what Lucian calls charlatanism is actually experimental writing. You could otherwise call Cézanne a charlatan for trying to work with hot planes advancing and cool planes receding in the optical field of the eyeball. So Burroughs, in cutting up, was creating gaps in space and gaps in time also, as Cézanne or as meditation does.
If this is Wittgenstein, if you have a pre-recorded universe in which everything is already pre-recorded, the only thing that is not pre-recorded are the pre-recordings themselves. So with my cut-ups, I was attempting to tamper with the basic pre-recordings. And I think I have succeeded to some modest extent.